Hi there, so today I'm going to show you how I create my latest track, and it's called Sound of Your Love Again. It's an EDM pop anthem, and one of the first things I do is try to create a nice chord progression. And so, I'll mess around the piano, for example. I'll record into the DAW, into the piano roll, and then, so in this case, look, normally I will know the key the song is going to be in. This is E minor. And I went with D major, B major, C major, and then we've got E minor. Okay, so you can see that I've revoiced the chords here, so generally we'll push the third up. It's just to make the chord sound a little more, give it space, sound a bit nicer. And it's the same with the E there. Okay. And the last note as well. Now you can see here that the chord progression is over 2 bars. And you can see that also we've got some anticipation here. So when we get to the third chord, this comes in early, so it provides some anticipation, and that obviously also is lengthened, and that encroaches into the 7th bar as well, so we don't actually resolve till quite late on with the E. So the chord progression is 7, 5, 6, 1. Together that sounds like this. So it's generally going to be sort of happy song, because it's, even though it's a minor key, I've chosen 3 major chords within that key. So the next thing I'll do is try and come up with a melody using these chords. Okay, this is what I came up with. So it sounds pretty good. Sounds, it's got a nice rhythm to it, a nice beat to it. As you can see here, the lower notes here of the root note of the chords have actually taken that down a little bit, taken the velocity down, which is why you can see that's a shade of sort of darker red. And the reason for being is because I want the bass to come in. I didn't want the chords to be too sort of bassy. Obviously, that depends on what instrument and sound design you're using for that particular layer of track. So that's what I came up with. When I come up with something like this sort of chord melody, I will vary it throughout the song. I might have an A melody and a B melody, so it will change. In this song, actually, I did actually pretty much keep it as it is. The variation is in the stabbiness of the notes, so you'll see towards the build-up, and especially the drop chorus, I'll be splitting these notes up here, to create a more stabby effect. Okay, and the same with this one as well. Whoops. So then you get this sort of effect. Okay. So that's the chord melody. Another trick I sometimes do, I can't remember whether I did it for this track, or we'll look into that later. I might use 2 layers of synths, for example, or one might be a pad. So I might use the bottom notes for a pad to create some atmosphere, and then I will use the top notes of this chord melody for in the higher region with maybe a synth or a lead. Okay, I might even take those notes up. So sort of splitting the chord up into different tracks with different instruments can give it added interest. So that's typically what a lot of people do. I often do that in tracks. Okay. So then when I've got sort of a melody, something might come into my head. It could be some lyrics or something like that. And what happened with this song is, that I remember my friend years ago, he split with his girlfriend, and he kept saying it's not the same without her, it's not the same. And for some reason, these words came in my head, and I started writing some lyrics. What I generally do with a song as well, I'll just show you this. I have a working document, so this is where I will have all the details in the song, what the genre it is, BPM, and this will get sent to whoever's going to sing the song as a sort of vocal guidance. You can see I've got the chords in there. There's the vocal guidance that went to the vocalist, and you see I'm asking it to sing it smoothly, the legato, with a light touch on the consonants, don't pronounce the T's, D's, etc. And yeah, this is obviously accompanies alongside my vocal, which is what I do when I normally record a song. I'll record my own vocals, and I'll often record a top line melody as well to go with it, because I'm not the greatest singer in the world. And then you can see here the lyrics. We've got the verse 1, build up, drop, break down, verse 2, and build up to, drop 2, and the outro. Okay, you can see that I'm asking it to do some ad libs and vocal chops on the outro section. Okay, so this is a working document that sits alongside the song, and I always use as reference. So what I'll do with the lyrics and the vocals, I will just start singing over the track, and just, I might have played the chord melody numerous times, and by the time then I get around to the lyrics, it might be an idea in my head and an idea for the song, so I will just start singing over it. So what I'll do is I'll put the metronome on, and I will just keep over and over again, just singing and singing. It's not the same without, it's not the same without, when you're by my side. When you're gone, it's not the same without your love. Cheating a bit here, so I've got auto shift on, which is an Ableton plugin, and we've set the key to E minor. I've got a vocal plugin here, so it's just a doubler. That's all it's doing, it's enhancing the vocal. And then I've got a little bit of Valhalla vintage verb on there, so yeah, got some reverb. So it sounds like this. It's not the same without, it's not the same without, when you're by my side. When you're gone, it's not the same without your love. So that's good enough to send to a professional vocalist, as you can see here, the timing of the timing here when I hit the first note is bang on the beat, and that's helps with the metronome running. And you can see here as well, it is bang on the beat. There's the 4 bars there, and you can see that's where the next bit of the vocal starts, and same again. So yeah, that comes with practice. So yeah, that would have been ready to go and sent to the vocalist. So the next thing I'll do, I will get some drums down, some beats down. So you can see we've got a progressive house kick here. Then we've got a kick clap. I quite like the click clap because it pierces through the vocals. We've got a drop clap, we've got a hi-hat open, and we've got closed hi-hats, and we've got a top loop as well. Okay, so when we get to the drop, all together, it sounds like this. So you can see there in the drop, replaced the click clap with a more meatier drop clap, okay, to go underneath the kick drum. Okay, so that's the beats. Then we've got the bass. So the main bass is just using a respace, and I use Serum 2 for this. You can see we've just got a basic saw wave. It's taken down 1 octave, and this is just a standard preset, and then we've got the sine wave there to sort of smooth it out, which is obviously common with a respace. So we've got a filter here, and we've just got you can see that I've actually taken off. This is obviously a much meatier sort of respace that we use for a drum bass or something like that. So I've just bypassed and taken off all the effects. So it just brings it down to a sort of vanilla bass, which is perfect for this song. And it just sounds like this. And you can see that I've used the same chord progression as we designed earlier. So you can see we've got some automation on the gain there. As you can see, no surprises that the bass is getting louder as we go through the song and hitting the drop. And then we've got another bass which is identical. It's another respace, but there are some changes to it, to the chain here. So this is used to try and get the bass up, levels up for sort of inferior speakers like mobile phones and things like that. So we've got a saturator, we're using analog clip here. Got a low cut filter, because we don't want to double up on the lower bass frequencies. Okay, we've already got the other bass that I've shown you. So the idea is to push the bass, the frequencies up, the sound up at the 1 kilohertz region. Okay, we're doing that with Pro Q4 here. Okay, you can see we're pushing up about the 1 kilohertz region there. Okay, and then we've got a compressor on there as well, and we've got some side chaining with one of the leads. Okay, and that's pretty much the bass. We have got actually we have got another bass here, which is I'm using Nexus for that, which is in the break, which is it's called 0, and that sounds like this. Again, it's using the same chord progression. So that's the bass, like, really quite simple. So the leads, yeah, there's a little bit more to the leads. We've got quite a few layers here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 leads. They don't always come in at the same time. But we have this lead here. This is called Feeling. Now this one's been modified. So generally what I might do, I might modify the cutoffs and the envelope and things like that. So I do that through automation. And then we've got a vintage pluck here, sounds like this. So these complement each other quite well. This is called a vintage pluck. And then we have the synth lead. This is a Serum, so this is one just designed myself. It's very basic. It's we've just got MB saw here, a wavetable. We've got 5 unisons, give it a bit more width, and we've got a filter and some delay and reverb. And it's just so simple. So but with this, we can use the cutoff filter here. We can automate using this, and then we just can open up the sound throughout the song. Yeah, so that's it, and the leads together sound like this. Okay, so we have some other leads down here. I actually forgot about these, and you know, we've got this verse melody here. You can see here that I've simplified. There's not stabby. Okay, so I talked about this earlier. So this is more simplified sort of for the verses. It gives a sort of smoother feeling. So that sounds like this. Yeah. And then we've got the pad as well. So this is really important to give it some more atmosphere and some feeling. So this is a pad pluck. This is serum. And we've got 2 saw waves, got some unison. And so it's the envelope's more of a sort of more plucky, it's shorter here. And we've got a filter here as well. And got quite a lot of FX going there. We've got some chorus, hyperdimension, some distortion, flanger. So there's some real feeling in this pad. And you'll feel this throughout the song, and I think it really adds sort of some emotion to the song as well throughout. So, and then we've got some piano there. So I think it's a really nice setup for the build-up for that. So there's a little bit of sound design, and we've got some FXs here. So I've got some crowd noise in here for the drop. Okay, got some more white noise, FX noise, and then we've got some risers here. Okay, for the fill gap and coming into the drop. So yeah, that's pretty much sound design. And so you can see also, you can see how I've arranged the track as well, and this is important. So as you can see, I've already shown you the sort of arrangement with the leads. We've got these leads coming in here, the early stages, the verse, and you can see that they disappear for the drop, and then this is where the other leads come in. Okay, so we've got 3 happening at the same time, then we've got all 4, okay, happening for the drop, and then the second part of the drop, this one comes out here. Okay, so that's how the track's been arranged. And in terms of the format of the song, I say we've got an intro that I normally use these to structure the template. Verse 1, build up, drop change, breakdown. Verse 2, build 2, drop change, and then we've got an outro. Okay. We got the usual things on here in terms of sort of mixing. So you can see on the bass group here, we have a compressor, and you can see that we're side chaining on the kick. Okay, so it can push through the kick can pierce through the bass, so you're still going to hear it. And then we've got a glue compressor here as well, so that glue the bass together. On the main leads here group, we have an EQ. Okay, so just cutting off the lower frequencies there, just standard stuff, and then we're also side chaining a little bit there as well on the vocals, because during the drop there's some vocals come in, and I didn't want them to get drowned out, so there's just a tiny little bit of side chaining on there for that. Okay. So that's just a little bit of mixing. So then the exciting bit where we send the vocals off, okay, to be sang, and this is what the vocals sound like. So I use Sound Better to get my vocals sang, and it can take a while to find quite a few songs to find a singer I could rely on and keep consistency through. A lot of my progressive house songs or pop tracks I use the same singer for, and I'm very happy with the results. It came back like this, so here's the vocal.
It's not the same without, not the same without, when you're by my side through the dark and nights, when you're gone, it's it's not the same. Hope it's not over. I'll find the love when I hear it loud. Shout it out. Feel the sound of the love again.
So when you get the vocals back, these are the wet vocals, obviously. You can see there's I've doubled up on the leads here, the different sections. And finally, here's the song all together. I hope you enjoy it. Here we go.
It's not the same without, not the same without. When you're by my side through the darkened nights. When you're gone, it's not the same.